creative friends, this is Freya and thank you so much for being here. So I am going to dive into my still life, but I just wanted to show you a few different things. Well, let me just try to move some of this stuff off here. The very first thing I want to show you is that there is a heart that showed up. Now she did get this heart did get a little bit kind of covered up over, but there is a heart that showed up on my medial woman on her neck. And I took a photograph of it and I posted it in my Instagram stories, and I cannot tell you how I'm just like so blissed out. Now I do work over top of this. I mean, there's all spills and splatters, and I did not make this heart intentionally, but it's right here. See, there's a heart right here. I don't know if the camera can pick up on it, but yeah, I'm over the moon about it. Anyways, so this is my value map that I'm going to be working on, and I looked through some of my books, and this is the closest I could find to just getting like a painting of fabric. And even though this is not like complete, it's going to give me like a little bit of an idea of how I'm going to do the fabric over here. So I'm just going to bring this up closer so you can see. So I'm going to put it off here just so I have some kind of a, you know, like a guideline, a map, if you will, because I'm just making this up in my head, which I don't recommend doing. But I did want to show you this as well. So this is just a really, really quick value study. Like it took me literally like under 5 minutes. These are really great to do just so that we can get familiar with our values. And if you use colored paper, like I have this brown paper notebook, but you can use like a brown paper bag or any kind of colored paper. It could be just say you're using a dark blue paper, then the dark blue can take the place of, say, your dark values. But if you use like a mid-tone, like this brown over here, this is going to take the place of your mid-tone values. And this is just really, really quick. It's just like getting out my pencil, doing a quick sketch, and then just, I think I only used 2 colors because I'm counting the brown of the paper as one additional color and tone, like value. So I think I just used white and my Payne's gray. And, you know, the grays that you see are just me mixing the white and Payne's gray together and then, you know, using the brown of the paper. But this is like super, super fast. And what this is going to help you to do is it's going to help you to spot the values. Like it's going to help you see the values because now you're looking for the values. And if you go to my, you know, like on my YouTube where I can post photos, I posted like 3 photos of this value map in progress, and I just wrote down some things like how to set up a still life. But if you go under my playlist section, I do have a video on how to set up a still life. But you know, it's going to help you to see the values and then to like translate what you're seeing onto your page. And what you'll find is, because I did take a lot of still life classes like a long time ago, is that when you draw from real life, you are strengthening your ability to see and then to translate that seeing onto your page. So look at it this way. It's kind of like you're translating a language. So like just say you're translating something from Italian to English. It's like when you're set up a still life, you are looking at what, you know, you're looking at the still life. So you are seeing the still life. You're seeing the values, the lights, the shadows. You're seeing the edges. You're seeing everything. And then you're taking that seeing and you are translating it onto your page. That requires a lot of skill and problem solving. And what you will find is that the number one thing you can do to strengthen your visual language, your drawing, your painting, all of that is just to draw from real life. And then after you do that and you strengthen that, once you go, now you go to painting from a photograph, or even like what I just showed you, like, a, like a photograph of a painting, like this, it's going to be much easier because all your problems are resolved on the page. You don't have to resolve those problems. So you guys, I hope I'm being clear. And if there's any, if you have any questions, please ask me and I will be happy to answer them. But that's the clearest way I can explain it. So do these like quick value studies. They're just so they teach you so much. And because you're working with a limited time, you're just like really quickly doing it. It forces you to really focus and hone in on your values. So I'm just going to move that off to the side. And I'm just going to work on this over here. And I think what I'm going to do now is I am going to work on the fabric a little bit. And because I'm using this as kind of a guideline, I'm just going to kind of like, I might need to make some adjustments here, because I was just like making this up in my head, which is kind of not the best thing to do, you guys, honestly. But anyways, okay, let's see here. So I actually really love doing still lifes, you guys, and I love painting fabrics. It is difficult, it is challenging, but basically what I learned, because I did take still life classes, is it's the same as with anything. If you look at fabric as an object, once you set it up, like if you're using real fabric and you're setting up a real still life, not working from a photo of a painting like I'm doing here, but if you actually set it up and if you look at your fabric as an actual object, it's the same thing as doing an apple. Like, just don't look at it as fabric. Look at it as you're painting the big shapes first, and then you're painting the smaller shapes. That's all it is. You're looking at shapes. You're painting shapes. Once you start, not looking at things as like, oh, this is fabric, this is an apple. You're looking at things like, oh, this is just a shape. This is a sphere, and then there's the big shape, and then there are smaller shapes inside the big shapes. And that just seems to be the best way to approach it, because if you like look at it like, oh, it's fabric, and it can get really kind of intimidating. So all it is are there shapes, there are big shapes, and then there are smaller shapes inside of those big shapes. And that really helps. Now, even when, like fabrics have folds, and the folds have like an architecture to them, and depending on the way the light hits and all this other stuff. But if you just keep on looking at it as shapes, like, hey, this is just a shape, it really simplifies things. And that looks too pointy there. But that's the way it's looking in the photograph. I think I'm gonna adjust it a little bit here. Now you guys, another thing is when you are, if you guys are going to be painting a still life, you need to determine like, hey, are you trying to go for photorealism? Are you trying to go for a more painterly approach? Are you, trying to go for something like say Cézanne, for instance, he combined multiple perspectives in one still life, which, wasn't done prior to that time. So what I mean is like, prior to Cézanne, and I think there was another artist, I don't know if it was Chardin, I can't remember, but I think there was an artist before Cézanne even, who tried doing this, who did do this. But prior to that time, like, artists were going for photorealism. And so like whenever, they were doing a painting, they were aiming for it to look as realistic as possible. Like they're aiming for it to look like a photograph, basically. But then, artists came along like Chardin, I think, Cézanne for sure. And what he did is he started combining multiple perspectives in one painting, which goes against all your perspective rules, because I mean your perspective rules are you're fixed, you're stationary, and your point of reference is fixed, and what you're looking at is fixed. But what Cézanne did is he combined like multiple perspectives. So in one still life, there could be like an apple that you're looking at directly this way, and then there could be a bowl that you're looking at from a different perspective. And it might be subtle, but he absolutely did that on purpose. So, there are different ways to do a still life, just like there's different ways to do anything, really. But, you're going to determine like, hey, are you going for photorealism? Are you going for like a more painterly approach? And what I find is that I'm going for like a painterly approach, but I mean, I still want it to look like, fabric. Like I want my apple to look like an apple, but I want it to be kind of, like painterly, like softer, not so, like I'm not really going for photorealism, I guess. Let's see here. So now the fabric is like coming down. It's coming like off the table here. So you guys, when you are painting, whether it's from real life or even a photograph, like right now I'm squinting, it helps to squint. When you squint, you can see the values much more clearly. And I don't know why that is. But yeah, there's some kind of a reason for that, I'm sure. But when you squint, you can see the values like so much more clearly. And that is just a great way to determine like, hey, like right now I can see, now I'm squinting and I can see like, hey, there's like a lighter, there's like lighter value here, and then it just transitions into a darker gray here. So yeah, squinting really helps. And like so. Another thing about these cheap paints, you guys, is because they're only like $1, these cheap paints here, Apple Barrel, is like, when I dip my brush in them and I get them all like muddy and stuff, I don't really worry about them so much, like as if, like just say it was Liquitex and, like you gotta worry, well, not worry, but, yeah, if you pay like, $40 for a tube of CAD red light in Liquitex, then yeah, I don't want to mess it up, Oh my god, did I even, oh my god, you guys, I hope that I didn't position this so that like it cut off the end, the bottom part of my thing. I'm so sorry, you guys. So see here. So as you can see, like it, you know, the folds, and I'm still not even copying this exactly because the composition in the book is different than my composition, but I'm just using it kind of as a guideline. And let's see here. And now what I'm gonna do is just like so. And so do you see, you guys, how there's like shapes? Like it's all shapes here. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. And I only worked on the fabric actually in this one, you guys. I didn't even work on the apples. That's okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna let it dry, and just so you can compare it, see, it's not like exactly because the composition is different. So I'm kind of just using this as a suggestion. But it's very helpful to me. Anyways, you guys, if you watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. I'm sorry if I didn't position this properly, and if it cut off a little bit at the bottom part. I'll have to look at it, but I'm gonna post this anyways. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.